All right, I want to talk about something that's a little bittersweet here. HBO has ended boxing. Now, I've seen maybe a match or two. I know I saw Mike Tyson beat some white tomato can. And that might have been a Showtime. It might have been HBO. I think it could have been HBO. It was around the time my family had HBO, around 2000. And this is sad news for people who are boxing fans, people who've had home box office for some period of time. I didn't know it really had lasted 45 years. That's a long time for this kind of sport deal. And I figured HBO was probably about 40 years old. So, yeah, they wrapped up their last boxing, and you had tearful commentators bidding a farewell. It seems to be that the avenues for consuming combat sports are changing rapidly. We have, as I've kind of done on the down low, a little bit of, one could call it illegal streaming of, watching some of these fights on Twitter, people broadcasting them. They put them up on the Periscope, and then it actually, as much as these guys are making, I don't feel bad about it at all. I mean, hell, they're price gouging you for the opportunity to watch streams of content of an undetermined length. It's not a football game I know is going to be 3.5 hours or 4. It's a boxing match that could be over in 10 minutes, or it could go nearly an hour. I'm not so inclined to, shell out $70 for this type of stuff, honestly. But you got this guy Canelo Alvarez, who I think's overrated. He signed some kind of deal with something called like DZN, some alphabet soup network. I think that they are a streaming service for sports or an upstart, and they want him to have a ton of fights for them. And that's going to be their hook to get people to subscribe to their network. Then I see this other news. UFC is going to do fights for ESPN Plus. So it's not enough that ESPN is in war with your cable provider, causing your rates to go jacked up because ESPN wants a bigger piece of the pie. ESPN wants to charge more to be carried as a basic cable network. So ESPN is really, when it comes down to it, the key factor in your cable bill going up. And a lot of the reason why people are cutting cable. You got the personalities at ESPN hardly talking about sports, more talking about protest and being a human being and being a father of 2 daughters. All this shit. Oh, but it's not enough for them to get this contract with the UFC and put it up on ESPN and try to get ratings and ad revenue. They got to go and put it on ESPN Plus. So now you have another service you have to sign up for. How many services is the average American going to be expected to have? I mean, you can get most of your music you want to hear under one area, right? Like you get Apple Music and now you're covered on music. Or you could get YouTube Music or YouTube Premium, or if you have YouTube Premium, do you get YouTube Music? Whichever. You get that, you're covered on music, right? Oh, but if you want to watch TV series, which by the way, it's actually web series. You see something on Netflix? Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. That's a web series. Shouldn't be eligible to win Emmys, but the Emmys caved, didn't they? Well, if you want to watch series, you have to sign up for, where do I start? Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, some other shit out there. I mean, you had these dumbasses over who captured the Criterion Collection of films. Put that on, what were they calling that? Film shit. It went under, right? They didn't have any original content, and once you watch the movies you wanted to watch, you don't really have a reason to stick around, do you? You can go watch Tokyo Story. You could go watch Wings of Desire, and then you're good. And you're like, hey, I got my fill of the Criterion Collection, and why am I still paying for this? Everybody's putting out the new original content, and everybody wants a piece of it, and everybody wants you paying a subscription. HBO's only play here could have been to make an HBO Sports premium need to subscribe thing and have a good amount of content to force you to renew every time. Instead, they've put their resources towards the dramatic content, dramatic original scripted dramas. I remember when people had like HBO because they wanted to watch movies, and now you get HBO because you want the original content, don't you? And they keep a certain threshold as far as, look, there's going to be a lot of titties. There's going to be a good production value. It's going to look like a movie. It's going to get nominations. We can get your money that way. I don't think all of these streaming networks can keep up, and I know I sound like a broken record for the 10 of you listening. I'm telling you, Netflix is going to be the first to fall of these majors. Could it be Hulu? It depends on what ABC does with the brand. I kind of think they could keep it around because they can use Hulu as their Fox streaming outlet and have more adult content over there that they're not going to put on Disney Plus. Is everything going to be a plus? ESPN Plus, Disney Plus? What else plus do we got here? Hell, they used to call it Hulu Plus. When you paid for it, you could watch everything for free with ads. And then they're like, no, it's not good enough. Now you have to sign up, pay. You still get ads, but if you pay more, you don't get ads. Luckily, my parents pay more and I don't get the ads. So that's what they have. Netflix honestly doesn't have the properties. Netflix is not going to give you live boxing to watch. They're not going to give you live football, UFC. What they honestly should do is try to get into live bare knuckle boxing. You seen that bare knuckle shit? At least it's different. Give us something we can watch live to necessitate being in the game here. Because I can't live stream Stranger Things Season 3. At least I'm assuming we're not going to be able to. And, have that big Twitter conversation that keeps The Walking Dead afloat. Which, honestly, last few episodes of Walking Dead hadn't been trending the way The Walking Dead typically had been. It was a little something to be concerned about. But that was one of the advantages to having a must-see show. A show that you don't DVR and then catch up on because you're going to be out of the conversation. And those online conversations is the new water cooler. Netflix doesn't have properties. They're trying to buy shit up. I don't think they can maintain it. Because everything they can get a hold of is new. Like The Witcher. Hey, let's get Superman to be The Witcher. Okay, we got some hype for that. It'll be sort of our Game of Thrones holdover in a way. Hey, there's dragons, I think, right? But medieval stuff and boobs. We've got that. But Disney, Paramount, these are companies that own your childhood. Be it Star Wars and Ninja Turtles. Netflix doesn't own your childhood. They try to creep in there, and they go and get He-Man. Oh boy, they get She-Ra. And look what the hell they did to that.